I've gotta say, the weird 3D magnetic liquid stuff is a unique piece of imagined tech.
Sir, is everything all right?
I said...
Carla Cugino to the rescue! This is the moment I realized Snyder wasn't using slow-mo. He definitely would have used it there. I imagine Nolan producing must have played a part. Krypton is a visually well-developed world. Unexplained advanced technology, distinct architecture, fantasy-like animals the Kryptonians keep as pets, and arrogant self-righteous inhabitants. And the carvings on the Codex give us a sense that there's an extensive history to this world. That's what you get for messing with Maximus. That's what you get for messing with Cinderella Man.
Codex is Krypton's future!
This version of Zod is another villain with a purpose. We'll see throughout that he's not just twirling his mustache trying to win world domination or settle a personal vendetta, mostly. He's just concerned with the future of his species. This is a pretty great wormhole transportation thing they've built, like nothing I've ever seen. The destruction of Krypton is done masterfully and believably. Zimmer, do I hear a little Interstellar score in there? Or I guess I heard some Man of Steel score in Interstellar? Either way, the entire score is beautiful, especially Superman's new theme. Nice touch to have the Man of Steel be a placeholder for an actual piece of steel. Also, just win. Seagull struggling in the wind? A little foreshadowing, methinks? Not that the size of Soup's muscles has anything to do with his strength, but it's nice to finally see a shredded and imposing force that is Henry Cavill. Snyder said he really wanted to pretend like this is the first Superman film and not take anything for granted. That being said, I think he and Goyer did a phenomenal job of keeping the Smallville teen part of this story brief, and the segues to both flashbacks are seamless.
You were sent here for a reason.
What a perfect example of humanity's narcissism to interpret two parents sending their child off their planet to save him from death as an answer to our problems and not the other way around.
You are my son.
This has to be the best Pa Kent we've gotten to date, no? Sure, Clark seems mild-mannered, but seriously, he's still as wide as a door. Come on. But Clark gets a restraint win. Alright, I take the restraint win back, but I'll replace it with 2 manners lessons wins. Okay, this can't be a coincidence. Hilo, now Gata in not 1 but 2 Snyder movies? Zach has to be a Battlestar Galactica fan. Helping a new friend.
That's a scotch straight up for the lady.
Great drink order and a great mustache on Bizarro Daniel Day-Lewis. The Superman suit is handled perfectly. It isn't worshipped, it's barely even explained. Just a symbol. It just is. And it's still as impactful as ever. This entire scene. Superman gets a stunning visual introduction while his powers are explained and teased, and Hans Zimmer gives us all goosebumps with his building score. That moment right there, when he realizes, what if I just push a little harder? His excitement is perfect. His childlike learning to walk for the first time. He reminds us that he's just a Kansas farm boy who found out he could fly. An indestructible Kansas boy, but a Kansas boy nonetheless. There's never been this much power behind Superman. So I'm starting to think that Snyder's compromise on no slow-mo was snap zooms. But it's cool. I freaking love it. Yep, that's about as cool as flying gets. As misguided as Pa Kent's reasoning may have been, he still sacrificed himself for his son. So you know what that means. Also, death sucks. But this is the second of 2 very tastefully done deaths. The first being Lara. I get why they had Henry do so many pained yells. He really sells it. I didn't know Doug Stamper could even smile.
You are not alone.
Genuinely creepy alien invasion is a welcome change for a Superman conflict.
You just have to decide what kind of man you want to grow up to be, Clark.
There's a pretty clear anti-bullying message in this movie, which is great. I'm just not sure how it applies to anyone who isn't Superman. Such a sick reveal. Steelman? I'm not exactly sure how dream sharing works for Kryptonians, but since Zod seems to be running the show, I assume he's in control. Assuming that assumption, I love that he puts Clark in human clothes. Serves 2 purposes. I know who you really are, and I'm superior to you. Exactly what a military leader would do. He's still the most powerful Superman we've ever had, but still has the ability to be gentle. Perfect mix. Also, more flawless wire work from Snyder. Now begins the place people start really complaining. Superman starts destroying everything with no concern for human life. Here's the thing though. We all have this feeling like Superman has been Supermaning for 7 decades, because for us, he has. But this is his first fight. Literally the first time he's punched anyone. He just barely started testing out his powers. Of course he's going to be a bull in a china shop. Also, and possibly more importantly, Zod just trashed his parents' house and threatened his mother. Sorry, he's going to be a little unhinged. And for me, this is another great way that Soups is grounded in our world. He's only human after all. Also, in his defense, he destroyed a smokestack and a gas station and then tells people to
Get inside. It's not safe.
It's the stupid Americans who start shooting up Smallville. Well, and Zod's crew. Faster than a speeding bullet.
You are weak, son of hell.
Feora is the real menacing villain here. So calm and collected. Who cares if they're destroying everything? This fight is amazing. My personal favorite is when Namek catches Soups as he's trying to fly away. Badass bad girl. In addition to the snap zooms, Snyder traded slow-mo for these speed-ups. The moral of the story is Zack Snyder hates things at normal speed, but Feora fighting like this is literally the best. More powerful than a locomotive? Yep.
This man is not our enemy.
Come on, you all got a little choked up. Wait, where's the TIE fighter?
This ship is powered by something called a phantom drive. It bends space.
And the flux capacitor is what makes time travel possible. Got it. You win, Zimmer. You win. Maybe there's no reason for this to work, but sheer force of will has always been Superman's strongest asset. Also, saving Earth.
If you destroy this ship, you destroy Krypton!
Zod is a villain, but his motivations aren't evil. He's a villain with some real depth.
Krypton had its chance!
All the talk of free will and choosing your own destiny comes to a head right here as Superman chooses Earth over Krypton. Yep. Again with the unconventional flying. I don't think I've ever seen someone start flying from the face down position. Badass good guy. You better not let us down, Jesse Eisenberg.
I was bred to be a warrior, Cal. Trained my entire life.
And that line should really be enough to shut up all the critics. Superman had no training. He's a newborn superhero. Obviously, he was going to break some buildings. The flying in this movie is done better than ever before as well. You get a real sense of Soup's speed and agility. But that's why you don't wear a cape. You better not let us down, Ben Affleck. Complain all you want about the destruction of Metropolis. This is one of the best fight scenes ever put to media. It has actual hand-to-hand combat on the ground, combined with flying, throwing, hand-to-hand combat in the air, and even a space battle. And it's filmed in a very fresh way. And now we come to the final reason this film gets so much hate. Personally, I think it's right in line with what this film is about. The free will of a mortal, albeit unbreakable man. A man that seeks out religious advice when he's unsure. A man who doesn't believe himself to be a god the way all Kryptonians do. A grounded, flawed, new man who tries to change the outcome but ultimately has to choose to end Zod's life to do what he believes is right. Were there other options? Possibly. But Zod promised he'd never stop. And Superman took the only course of action he deemed just. A bold statement that upset lots of people, but this isn't your grandfather Superman. And it clearly weighs heavily on him.
I grew up in Kansas, General. About as American as it gets.
The Superman exists, and he is American.
Your shoulders would be able to bear the weight.
Yeah, Atlas ain't got nothing on Clark. Ha! They stuck a Superman pose in there after all.
Welcome to the planet.
This movie is ultimately an origin story for Clark Kent. And I have no problem with Lois knowing his identity right from the get. It happens eventually anyway, so get on with it, right? As most films of this caliber usually do, at least recently, Man of Steel received overwhelmingly positive reviews upon its release. And then slowly but surely the haters started creeping out of the woodwork. Is this a perfect film that should go down as the best superhero film of all time? Not necessarily. But the flaws that have been complained about are mostly less than nitpicking. Jonathan Kent's death was tough, but it made sense within the confines of the movie. The utter destruction in the final battle was nothing more than an honest depiction of two unbreakable beings trying to break each other amongst breakable things. Superman wasn't negligent. He was outnumbered, outmatched, and he'd just learned to fly like, what, a few weeks before having to save the Earth? Besides all that, Snyder wanted there to be a high death toll. He wanted Zod's attack to have some gravity to it, pun intended. DC's universe is not the MCU. Superman has been a Boy Scout for the last 70 years. Aren't we ready to see him be grounded in a little more reality? We all resoundingly agreed that Nolan's Batman was what we wanted. We're in the golden age of comic book movies because of it. Iron Man set up a spectacular world for the Avengers. Man of Steel did not fall short of doing the same for the Justice League. And since we're liable to hit saturation point within the next few years, I'm glad the DCEU is going in a different direction than the MCU. Not every cast was perfect, but Michael Shannon's Zod is fully competent even if he was outshined by Ansha Trau's Feora. Man, she's awesome. Ma and Pa Kent definitely met, if not surpassed, every other representation of those characters. And Henry Cavill is about as Soups as we can ask for. Especially in this new universe where he's a growing, learning, conflicted real character. This portrayal of Superman is different from any that's come before it on film. He's not perfect. His choices have consequences, and I believe that the choices he made in this movie will go on to affect every film in the DCEU. Hans Zimmer's score in this film is phenomenal. The villain's theme puts you on edge, and Superman's theme added a feeling of new beginnings in anticipation to the triumphant score of the past. Other than that, I have no worries about Dawn of Justice. I have complete confidence that Nolan, Snyder, and Goyer won't let us down. Now, Batfleck could be a different story. But he's pulled out some pretty great performances lately with Argo and Gone Girl, and, well, Good Will Hunting, I guess? But that was really more Damon. Armageddon? Pearl Harbor? Reindeer Games? Geely? Never mind, we're screwed.
I just think he's kind of hot.
You're weak, son of hell.